games until the playoffs arrive, and we still haven't seen the big three for more than 7 games all season long. Now, beyond that, Kevin Durant hasn't played more than 6 games straight. Kyrie Irving seemingly can't stay healthy. And James Harden tried to return from a hamstring previously just to re-injure his hamstring to now return from that same hamstring injury. Fellas, the concern has been mounting for me, but it's really hit the climactic point. The playoffs are here. It's no longer like the playoffs are coming. The playoffs are actually here. And Kevin Durant, you ain't played more than 6 games straight. You got a first-round matchup versus the Celtics. Same Celtics that were in the Eastern Conference Finals just last year. They might take you to 6. And if they don't, you got a second-round matchup versus the Bucks. The same Bucks that just beat you twice in back-to-back games about a week ago. They will definitely take you to 6. And if you happen to beat them, what's going to be waiting for you is likely going to be the Philadelphia 76ers, just the best team in the East. If you're not worried about the chemistry issues thus far, now is the time to be worried about the chemistry issues, because the Brooklyn Nets have to see themselves play together at a high level before I, as a spectator, believe they can. So, Slick Rick, you the NBA analyst, how concerned are you about the Nets' chemistry?
Extremely concerned. You make excellent points, E, when it comes to their chemistry and their durability. Because let's not forget, when we get to the postseason, the game is infinitely more challenging physically. And even through the regular season, the Nets have not demonstrated, at least their top players have not demonstrated, that they're up to the task of facing regular season durability. And you mentioned the losses to the Bucks. I'm looking at their games against the top teams in the Eastern Conference of late. Philadelphia 76ers, an L. Miami Heat, an L. The Milwaukee Bucks, 2 back-to-back L's. Most important element here when it comes to chemistry is not their offense. On any given night, when you have the kind of scoring power that they have, they're going to be able to put a lot of points up on the board. But defensively, I've been hearing all year long, they just need time together, and they'll get better, and they're slowly improving. They're still 24th in defensive rating. They're still 21st in defensive efficiency. Even if they're capable of playing better defense, they haven't had the time together to develop it. And you're not developing that through the course of the postseason. It's bring it and deliver it now. And whereas you can create these margins offensively to protect yourself and your defense from being exposed during the regular season, playoff games are possession by possession. You need to be able to defend on a consistent basis, and they simply have not demonstrated that at any point. Even the Lakers being injured, we know how good they can be defensively. We have nothing to go on when it comes to the Nets. So, yes, extremely concerned about where they are.
And Slick Rick, I love that point that you're talking about defense, because as we all know, no matter what sport you play, defense wins championships. But what I really want to talk about not only is the defense, but where does that defense comes from? I believe it comes from leadership. So you look at the Lakers with LeBron or without LeBron, their defensive efficiency has been top 5. Why? Leadership. You look at Golden State, Steph Curry is essentially by himself, but their defensive efficiency is also top 5. Why? Leadership. Then I go to Brooklyn. And yes, we've got some superstars, offensive juggernauts, gurus. They're changing the game. But defensively, what are you doing? When your body's tired, when it's hard, you got to go back and run back and play defense. And I don't see leaders on this Brooklyn Nets team. I look at KD, and even when he was in Golden State, I don't necessarily see him as the leader. I look at James Harden, where he's been in Oklahoma City. Even in Houston, he wasn't necessarily the leader. And then I look at Kyrie. Kyrie back in Boston, definitely wasn't leading there. And also Kyrie back when he was with LeBron in Cleveland. You don't really see leadership on this Brooklyn Nets team, and that's what got me concerned most about this team that we're seeing today.
And when you talk about leadership, even when you talk about Kyrie, Slick, you notice the games without Harden where Kyrie is there, they're 13-13, 500. Now, when you have Harden without Kyrie, they're still 21-5. So the question also is going to be, someone is always missing. Who's the pivotal piece that is missing? because I think the Nets could be okay without Kyrie if you have Harden and you have KD. I think that chemistry piece is fine. I'm not convinced that the Nets will be okay with any other combination, whether it's KD and Kyrie, whether it's Kyrie and Harden. I actually think the pivotal piece that is missing for the Nets is Harden. But even then, even if the Nets can get through the East with just the two of them, with just Harden and Kyrie or Harden and KD or KD and Kyrie, when you have to face whatever juggernaut comes out the West, and we all assume it's going to be the Lakers or the Clippers, I don't think the Nets stand a chance unless they have the big three and unless the big three has chemistry.
Yeah, Sam, I think you make a great point when it comes to the leadership. There's a saying when you're playing defense, you need everybody to be on a string. And it's not just a matter of everybody has to be in the right place, but I have to trust that everyone else is going to be in the right place, because I have to make decisions that are going to be, that the success of those decisions are going to be determined whether everybody is doing the same thing. If you haven't had any time on the floor together, there's no way to develop that trust and that confidence. And when I look at the Nets, aside from not having that experience together, who's the person who's demanding the defensive accountability? Why have they not improved at the defensive end when they have enough guys that have won championships in Kyrie and KD to know how vital defense is to a team being successful in the postseason? They don't have that guy. And without having that guy, even if you had the time, you're not going to get to that point. So it's why I've had a concern from the very beginning, and certainly them having no time to even attempt to develop that defensive chemistry only underscores my concern from the very beginning.
And I love these points. And yes, with James Harden, the Nets are 27-7. But let's not forget, this game is about championships. In the regular season, James Harden has a 65% winning percentage. But come postseason, come playoff time, it drops down to 52%. And so even if you are talking about James Harden being on the court, which is important during the regular season, even when it comes to the playoffs, that's a huge drop-off, about a 13% drop-off in winning percentage. And so I still have concerns not only about chemistry, not only about leadership, but even when you have a great chemistry and great leaders, what will this team do in the playoffs?
We all know that they got the big names. We all know that they got the big game. But at the end of the day, if you can have addition by subtraction, I've always said you can have subtraction by addition. Let's see how the big three works if they ever do get on the court together. Coming up, Tim Tebow might return to the NFL, but everybody is not happy.